are shifting focus now to another big story that seems to be concerning India. Dhaka is rife with speculation that Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus may resign. During an advisory council meeting, Yunus is believed to have voiced his desire to quit and address the nation through a televised speech and confirmed that decision. His position seems to be tenuous now as he's at loggerheads with the army chief in Bangladesh. The army chief has stressed on the need for an inclusive election and soon. He's doubted the legitimacy of an unelected interim government. To say that General Waqar Zaman is out to oust Yunus may be premature, many would say, but the fact that he wants him to go and he wants a democratically elected government to come into place in Bangladesh, that seems to be the case for sure. General Zaman is upset with Yunus over three particular issues, and he's made that very public during several meetings that he's held. Yunus had proposed elections by June 2026, but the army chief says it has to be done by the end of this year. He has said that only an elected government can ensure stability. Remember, it's one of the reasons why he had helped those groups that had ousted Sheikh Hasina last year and installed this particular individual, which is Muhammad Yunus, as the head of the caretaker government. Waqar also opposes Yunus's plan to establish a humanitarian corridor to Myanmar's Rakhine state. He calls it a bloody corridor. It says that it's only going to risk and put Bangladesh's interests at risk by entering this civil war in Myanmar. The army chief has resisted Yunus's attempts to appoint US-aligned officials such as the National Security Advisor Khalilur Rahman as well. He wants to curtail military influence is one of the allegations that the army chief has made against Muhammad Yunus. So what exactly is going to transpire? What exactly is going to come up next as far as Bangladesh is concerned? There is a deep dive that we want to do for you in this particular situation as to what next could happen in the political scenario of Bangladesh. Is there a coup that's imminent? And if there is, how is that going to affect India? Take a look. Bangladesh is on the brink of another political crisis. Less than a year after Sheikh Hasina's ouster, Bangladesh could see a regime change once again. Muhammad Yunus, the head of the caretaker government, is facing flak from all quarters and could be on his way out. Maybe not voluntarily, but his exit seems to be just a matter of time. Speculation is abuzz in Dhaka that Yunus could resign 9 months after he took over. What gave wings to the speculation was the meeting between Nahid Islam, convener of the National Citizen Party, and Muhammad Yunus on 22nd of May at the latter's official residence. During that meeting, Yunus expressed his displeasure and concern over the current situation and said that he would not be able to work in these circumstances. Pressure is mounting on Muhammad Yunus, and the last 1 week has been tumultuous for the head of the caretaker government. The one man leading the charge against Yunus is the Bangladeshi army chief. Differences between the duo have been increasingly evident. What's interesting is that it was this very man who installed Yunus at the helm after Sheikh Hasina's removal as the Prime Minister last year. And now, he seems to be baying for Yunus's blood. A case of poetic justice, if you will. Bangladesh Army Chief General Waqar Zaman minced no words in holding Yunus accountable. His advice was simple. Hold early elections, stop interfering with military matters and keep the military in the loop on key issues like the proposed corridor. Muhammad Yunus was installed as the head of caretaker government, a temporary one that would eventually pave the way for elections to be held in Bangladesh. 9 months on, that's far from happening. Maybe because Yunus has spent most of his time in the last 9 months traveling the world rather than attend to pressing matters at home. But Zaman is not going to let Yunus forget that. He's not going to let him forget that Yunus indeed is a placeholder, a man without the people's mandate. Zaman wants to be seen as a savior, the army not as a usurper. Hence the push for early elections. He wants Muhammad Yunus to hold elections by the end of this year, but the caretaker government claims that it can only happen by mid-2026. Another bone of contention between the duo is the Chittagong-Rakhine corridor, which Yunus was willing to create to deliver humanitarian supplies to Myanmar. The army chief called it a bloody corridor. The Bangladeshi army chief made it clear that he is firmly against dragging Bangladesh into the festering civil war in Myanmar. The Bangladesh's leading political parties are also with the army on this matter. Awami League, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, as well as all the left parties in the country have all opposed the Rakhine corridor, which is seen as a part of an American power play to block China's land-to-sea access. Now, patience is running thin in Bangladesh. For the first time since Muhammad Yunus-led administration assumed power, tensions spilled onto the streets of the country's capital. Public demonstrations were witnessed, renewed calls are being made by thousands of BNP supporters especially who marched through the city of Dhaka. The protests have been going on for a week now, but they have seen a significant escalation over the last 2 days. The clock seems to be ticking for Muhammad Yunus. But is there a military coup in the offing in Bangladesh? The growing rift between the interim government and the military raises concerns around Bangladesh's political stability. The military's dissatisfaction could lead to an increased pressure on the interim administration or perhaps a potential takeover. Now, the international community is closely monitoring the situation, urging all parties to work towards a peaceful resolution and the timely restoration of democratic processes. What about India then? Should India be worried? Now, New Delhi's relations with Dhaka have been frosty since the dispensation led by Yunus came to power. There are a number of reasons for that. Attacks on Hindu minorities, release of radical elements from prisons across Bangladesh, and lifting of bans on organizations that have pushed their terror agenda into India. That's just to name a few issues that India has with the Yunus government. The recent remarks made by the head of the caretaker government on India's northeast have only added fuel to the fire. Trade is also affected between the two countries. Just last week, India restricted imports of ready-made garments from Bangladesh. We barred a number of range of consumer goods to 13 land borders in the northeast and West Bengal. In response, Bangladesh has cancelled a big-ticket defence contract worth 180 crores with a Kolkata-based public sector shipbuilder. That's another reflection of the downturn in ties. Now, given this, could the Bangladeshi army being at the helm be seen as a factor of stability in Bangladesh, or will that only make matters worse? Now, while an army coup may not directly threaten India's sovereignty, it would undermine regional stability. It can also strain bilateral relations and complicate India's strategic objectives in the South Asia. Therefore, India has several strong reasons to be concerned. For one, border security. India shares a border with Bangladesh, a lot of which is porous, which spans about 4,000 kilometers. Any unrest could lead to cross-border violence, into arms smuggling, or even infiltration by extremist groups. Political turmoil in Bangladesh could lead to a surge of refugees into India as well, especially into states like Assam, West Bengal, and Tripura. It could strain local resources, it could potentially trigger communal tensions as well. Thirdly, India's northeastern states, which are already sensitive due to ethnic and separatist issues, could be destabilized further by the spillover effect from the unrest in Bangladesh. There also could be setbacks to counter-terrorism efforts as well. A military regime might not prioritize or maintain the same level of cooperation that we've seen between India and Bangladesh in the past, and that could create security blind spots for India. The biggest concern of them all, though, is greater Chinese influence in the region. China and Pakistan have emerged as Yunus's most ardent supporters. Both nations see Yunus's prolonged hold on power and the indefinite delay of elections as beneficial to their own regional ambitions. With a military regime, China could eye greater role with funding or military support, much like what they are doing in Pakistan. That would put India's strategic interests in the Bay of Bengal, BIMSTEC, and regional connectivity projects all at risk. For now, New Delhi has decided to adopt a wait-and-watch approach, hoping that Bangladesh does not go the Pakistan way.